Well, welcome everyone to this wonderful evening of music as we come to welcome you back to St. Paul's and welcome back after 2 years of all of us hiding away. We're able to come back into this room and enjoy music again. And it's wonderful to be able to come tonight as a tribute to Michael Jones and his music and his legacy, his gift, and being part of this community. As is our custom, we begin first with an acknowledgement of the land.
We respectfully acknowledge the southern watershed of Manadowitz-Algayagin,
Spirit Lake,
Georgian Bay, and Weyese-Auganing,
Shining Lake,
Simcoe, and centrally, Lake Couchiching waters and land that have historically sustained the lives of Wendat and Anishinaabe, including the Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi nations, collectively known as the Three Fires Confederacy of the Anishinaabe, and centrally Rama First Nation, the keepers of the Majinkaning fishing weirs.
These sacred lands and waterways are recognized in the Robinson-Huron Treaty, Williams Treaties, and J. Collins Land Purchase, recognizing all nations gathered and living here today from across Turtle Island, including the Haudenosaunee, Métis, and Inuit peoples.
So on a canoe trip this summer in August, when I was traveling in Temagami, I took along Michael Jones's book, Artful Leadership, Awakening the Commons of the Imagination. It was good to take Michael along on this canoe trip in both spirit and word. Michael has been an inspiration to me and to many of us in his vision and his music and his creative expressions that have inspired us in so many ways. I have often turned to Michael as inspiration in going to a deeper place of contemplation through his music and his words. They've inspired an openness and a sense of creativity, what Michael calls the commons of creative imagination, as he says in here. Michael has inspired St. Paul's in many ways to be a tangible expression of this incarnation of the commons. He inspired also to name this place a place of gathering, a place of creativity for the arts and for learning and for seeking the common good. In naming it a place of gathering, we were doing it in a spirit of honoring the Majinkaning fish weirs, which have been a place of gathering for people for literally thousands of years. And so we wanted to respect and honor that and to invite this place to be a new place of gathering and reconciliation. We have created a gallery in behind here that houses the Call 83 art project. This is from the Truth and Reconciliation call to artists to work together, Indigenous and non-Indigenous artists. And so we are honored here at St. Paul's to have this gallery that has the art, and a third round of art will be revealed in October. And you're invited on October 23rd to be part of that celebration as we reveal this next round of art. Tonight we're also pleased to be dedicating a place, the room downstairs, which we are calling a Learning Commons. an inspiration from Michael, who inspires us towards using our creativity for the common good. And so we're inviting you to come down for a drink and some food, or you can have a drink up here. But we'd like to celebrate this space as being a learning commons, a place in this community that can gather people to work on issues of seeking the common good. But especially tonight, we are welcoming you back, and part of the artistic expression of bringing artists to come and appreciate the gift of this piano, a gift from Judy Archer and Michael Jones. This is Michael's Bosendorf piano that he created all of that beautiful music with and has gifted it to us here at St. Paul's in this community. We're inviting as well your contribution as part of welcoming back to St. Paul's. As you can imagine, after a couple of years of not being able to have concerts here and of limited use of this building, we have some financial catching up to do in terms of being able to continue with this building. So we are at a point later in the program, we will come through with baskets. For those who are able to give a gift of more than $25, there are envelopes that you can put your contact information on, and a charitable receipt will be given for that money. So we were grieved at Michael's death earlier this year, but we know that his spirit continues to live in this place and through many of us in this room. His quiet urging through story and music inspired us all towards our better selves and how we can use our creative imaginations for the common good, for the planet, and for all of us. So thank you to Michael, and thank you to Lance and to the artists who have come out tonight to offer their wonderful music in tribute to Michael and to welcome you back into this space. And thank you to all of you for coming and being part of this evening's celebration. Over to you, Lance.
Well, thank you. Well, we've gathered here, as Reverend Reeve said, to welcome you all back to St. Paul's and acknowledge the gift of this wonderful instrument. So firstly, let's look at this piano. This is obviously beautiful, but why is Bosendorfer one of the best pianos in the world? Well, they are an Austrian company that has been around for more than 200 years making pianos. At one time, there were 387 Austrian piano makers. Now there's one, Bosendorfer. They make close to 300 pianos a year, handmade pianos. Now that sounds like a lot, but to put it in perspective, Yamaha makes over 238,000 pianos a year. So it's quite a cottage industry making these wonderfully crafted instruments. In 1830, the Austrian piano maker Bosendorfer was granted the status of official piano maker to Austrian Emperor Franz Joseph I. In 1830 or 38, virtuoso Franz Liszt plays a Bosendorfer at a concert, and he starts to play them and has one at home. He becomes a lifelong friend with Bosendorfer. Quincy Jones is listed just below Michael Jones on the friends list for Bosendorfer. That list also includes Franz Liszt, Bela Bartok, Vladimir Ashkenazy in the classical world, Oscar Peterson, Chick Corea, Dave Brubeck in jazz, Aretha Franklin, Paul McCartney, Peter Gabriel in pop. This is one of the premier pianos in the world. And why is it that? Well, it's partly because of how it's made. They take 6 years from start to finish to make a piano. 80% of this instrument is made from spruce. The outside of the instrument resonates like a violin does. The whole body of the instrument resonates. It's the only piano that does that. And there's lots of things I could talk about, but we want to get down to hearing the piano. The action is very special. That means the touch of it, the dynamics, that you can go from very soft to very loud. You'll hear this in these performances this evening. The range of the instrument, the color, you'll notice the different pianists, it sounds, it has a different color for every pianist. And the clarity of the instrument. You can hear lines on this instrument that you can't hear anywhere else. About Michael, just a few words. He was a special artist from a very young age. His maternal grandmother played the organ even though she was deaf. She could feel the music through her feet on the pedals. He was around music from the age of 3. At 16, Michael replaced the 81-year-old organist at the St. Xavier Anglican Church in Queenston, Ontario. He studied classical music at Mount Allison and soon found out that learning classical music wasn't his thing. He met Judy at a conference at the Royal York Hotel and played her some of his improvisations. Good pickup line. Thus begun a love affair that lasted for 47 years. Now, what does an instrument like this mean to an artist? It is the instrument of one's creativity. It is inspiration. It is a lifelong companion. It is both your work and your PlayStation. Your piano knows your limitations, but continues to coax and entice you to be better. It is a very personal relationship. It is a treasure, and there are moments deep in playing where you lose yourself and you are one. It can be enlightenment, and did I mention that it is beautiful? Just look at that thing. It reminds me of those people who talk about motorcycles and Ferraris and stuff. To me, this is as beautiful, you know. So this is a very special instrument for both those reasons. It's a very rare instrument, and it was an artist's instrument. This concert is to celebrate the donation of this wonderful musical instrument to our community by Michael Jones and Judy Archer. So let's hear some music. My phone going off in my pocket? Now, I turned my phone off, and I even asked everybody backstage to turn their phone off. But for some reason, this alarm was set for 7:45, which is supposed to be this morning, and it just went off now. And it will not go off until I hit stop. So sorry, but I knew at one point as I was thinking, what is that? I realized it's never going to stop. So let's try that again. Thank you very much. Okay, our next performer, Blair Bailey. He hardly needs an introduction here in Aurelia. He's the new conductor of the Aurelia Vocal Ensemble, pianist and musical director with the Mariposa Arts Theatre, and accompanist for the Cellar Singers. He is organist and musical director for St. Paul's and was artistic director of Aurelia's Kiwanis Music Festival for 25 years. He recently won the Kenneth Brown Achievement Award from the Aurelia District Art Council and OMA. Please welcome Blair Bailey. Therien. She's a local musician, an accomplished pianist, singer, music teacher, and musical director. Terry's teaching studio is bustling with young people and adults learning piano, voice, and theory. Terry's going to introduce a tune of Michael's.
In the album in the piano album published for this piece, Michael included an anecdote at the start that I think you'll appreciate. And he writes in here, several years ago, I spent 3 months at Esalen, an educational center on the California coast. From Esalen, I was scheduled to go on to Tokyo for a series of concerts. In preparation, I would often play the piano in the dining hall in the evenings. One night I was exploring variations on a theme from Butterflies in Space when a young man came over and sat down beside me on the piano bench. When I finished, he introduced himself, then said, "I've been listening to you for a few days and I really enjoy your playing." I thanked him, but he hadn't finished. "Your only problem is that you sound too much like Michael Jones," he said. "You really should develop your own style." I was momentarily stunned and confused. Then, amused, I turned to him and said, "But I am Michael Jones." He didn't believe me. In fact, he laughed. And for the next few minutes, we sat on the bench arguing about who I really was. Finally, I pulled my wallet out of my back pocket, showed him my driver's license, and lightly tapped the photograph on the front. He stared at it, then looked up at me. "Michael Jones. You really are Michael Jones." Without another word, he shot out of the room, presumably to share his findings with his friends.
Our next artists are Cassandra Rutherford and Ray Dillard. Singer-songwriter Cassandra Rutherford is a dynamic and fearless performer. Unreliable narrators, flights of fancy, and gritty realism pepper her repertoire. Buckle up for her highly anticipated album, Trouble Brewing, to be released February of 2023. Now, Texas-born, Toronto-based percussionist drummer Ray Dillard received his Bachelor of Music and Master's of Music degrees from West Texas State University. His recording work with the Toronto-based percussion ensemble Nexus includes 15 titles. He is currently business manager for Nexus and produces and plays on many recording projects. Please a warm Aurelia welcome for Cassandra Rutherford and Ray Dillard.
I wanna waltz with you on this Saturday night, just a tango for two. Would that be alright? And I wanna swing it up on this weekend eve. I want a mosh pit with just you and me. But I'm too shy, 'cause I have two left feet. Yeah, I'm too shy for this fantasy. 'Cause this is how I get. 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 Still, I wanna call you up just to say your name. I wanna be so perfect on this Saturday. But I'm too shy, 'cause I can't speak. Yeah, I'm so shy, there's no veneer. 'Cause this is how I roll. 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 So maybe I'll write a song on this Saturday night, all about you and all those things I wanna say, and I'll send it to you as an MP3. But already I'm getting anxiety, and on the subject line I will write, this is for you. I hope you've had a good night. 'Cause all I want to do, all I want to do, all I want to do is be with you.
Oh, well, thank you, Cassandra and Ray. I told you there'd be different colors with that instrument. Our next artist is Doreen Uren Simmons. Doreen did a debut at the prestigious Wigmore Hall in London, UK in 1961, and since then has worked with all the major soloists and choir conductors in Canada, including the Elmer Eisler Singers, Robert Cooper and the Toronto Medicine Youth Choir, singer Lois Marshall, and here in Orillia with the Mariposa Arts Theatre. She has been centered mostly in Toronto, but spent 16 years in Orillia recently because of her gorgeous grandchildren, and played and taught here to her great joy. She is very happy to be back here to help make the Busendorfers sing. She will be playing the second movement, Andante Espressivo, of Brahms' Sonata No. 3 in F minor, Opus 5. And the quote that goes with the piece is, "In the pale moonlight, two loving hearts unite." It's my honor to present Doreen Uren Simmons.
Daughter. And patient.
Wow. That was just marvelous. Incredible. Thank you so much, Doreen. Thank you. Our next two artists are father and daughter, Kelly and Louis Lefaive. Louis, quite well known in this area as a musician. Just recently retired music teacher from Penetanguishene. Father and daughter are part of the award-winning Franco-Ontarian family band, Arico, based out of Penetanguishene, Ontario. Arico plays fiddle music and traditional French-Canadian songs. Arico's debut in 2003 included the main stage at the Mariposa Folk Festival, the Spectacle de la Solidarité Franco-Ontarienne in Ottawa, and the Pan Am Games at Toronto's Harbourfront Centre. Please give a warm, a real welcome to Kelly and Louis Lefaive.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, this, I guess we're the comic relief after the last performance. Anyway, I'm from the little village of Perkinsfield. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Perkinsfield up in the Penetang Midland area. It's a cute little hamlet, maybe 2,000-3,000 people. But anyway, years ago, my mother was asked to do some research about the village of Perkinsfield and how it got its name. And apparently, the train came from Toronto through to Barrie, up into Penetanguishene, and to get to Penetanguishene, it had to cross a Mr. Perkins field. But there's more. So, because the train was busy and schedules and so on, it didn't stop in Perkinsfield, but there was a pole there, and the conductor, I guess, dropped the mail off by slowing down enough to get it on a hook on the pole, so the mail was for the residents of that area. So people, the locals, started going to Perkinsfield to get their mail. So I came up with an imaginary story about how exciting it would be to for the train to come and get some mail and so on. But this song is, the chorus goes, hey, hey, do-si-do. Do-si-do is, for square dancing. Tsigalo is a little beat that fais pas de dos, don't go to bed, because we're going to have a party, and that's what this song is all about here today. So, with no further ado, Kelly, have you got a song? Yeah, we can hear you. So, my eldest daughter, Kelly. 1, 2, 3. Ici dans mon village, jeudi après-midi, le train est roi. À 4h30, on va pas entendre de loin ces mouvements rythmés. Comme le jig-jag, choo-choo de mon vieux bébé. Hey, do-si-do, tigalo, fais pas de dos, car on va péter. Quand le train arrive à Perkins, on va tous danser. Ok, Kelly, vas-y. Mes oncles et mes tantes, puis leurs enfants, le Monseigneur et Paul le géant, sont tous venus de loin, on les entend jaser. Comme le jig-jag, choo-choo de mon vieux bébé. Hey, do-si-do, tigalo, fais pas de dos, car on va fêter. Quand le train arrive à Perkins, on va tous danser. Hey, les amis, que faites-vous ce soir? Vous êtes les invités, on va fêter tard. J'ai hâte à vous voir. C'est sûr qu'on va swinger, on va swinger, on va. C'est comme le chick, chick, chuck, chou, chou de mon vieux bébé. Hey, do-si-do, tigalo, fais pas de dos, car on va fêter. Quand le train arrive à Perkins, on va tous danser. Oh, hey, do-si-do, tigalo, fais pas de dos, car on va fêter, on va fêter, on va. Et quand le train arrive à Perkins, on va tous danser.
Fedolo. The Solek. Unfortunately, Marta, this wonderful cellist, cannot be here this evening, but Blair and her recorded a video of her performance. She really wanted to be part of this. She had to go on tour. I'll just say a little bit about Marta. She immigrated to Canada in 2017. She was an accomplished musician in her native Poland, studying under scholarship at the Krakow Academy of Music. Solek was the first student in the Krakow Academy of Music's World Music faculty and came out of it 13 years later with 2 master's degrees in classical cello and world knee fiddles. She has played with some of the major orchestras in Europe and is currently on tour. She and Blair will perform a composition of Michael's called Sunshine Canyon. And just before we roll that video, there are going to be some people coming around for the free will offering. I guess will be coming around during the video. That is to support St. Paul's Church here. And please watch these screens for the video. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Marta Solek, and I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I regret so much that I can't be with you in person today, but thank you so much for this opportunity to share Michael's music. I was lucky enough to meet Michael and play with him in his house, and he changed the way I think and I feel about music. He was a big, big inspiration, big heart, and I miss him so much, and I hope you will enjoy our performance. We're going to play Sunshine Canyon by Michael Jones. Thank you so much and have a great evening.
So I knew Michael when I was a little girl, Michael Jones, and I remember he was so kind and welcoming, and he worked on a project with my father at one point, and so he'd come by and go into the studio, so I get to see him and talk to him. And he was very approachable, but I was thinking of what song to pick for this, and this song is for people like Michael, like my father, like a lot of you in this room, probably all of you guys, but enjoy.
Do not fear death. Fear living afraid. Don't ignore your voice. My ashes will make you brave. You were not born to go quietly. You were not born to blend in. You were not made to march in time. Don't you fear my suffering. Fear is what they wage. It blinds them to what they do. Although my time is up, I pass this torch to you. You were not born to go quietly. You were not born to blend in. You were not made to march in time. Don't you fear my suffering. Do not fear death. Fear living afraid. Don't ignore your voice.
I guess I can speak out of this one. I've been recording, oh sorry for you people over there. I've been recording a CD of arrangements of Beatles songs for solo piano. So I thought I might try one of them tonight. And even though you have a program, if you don't have a program, you'll eventually recognize it.
Merci beaucoup. So to finish the program for tonight, we decided to go a little bit away from some of the traditional music we typically play, but something that's very, very French, I would say, La Vie en Rose, which has been performed by many singers, but one of our favorite versions, of course, is by Edith Piaf. We decided to give it a bit of a twist, though. We're going to speed it up a little bit. So hope you enjoy. Thank you so much for being here. Des yeux qui font baisser les miens, un rire qui se perd sur sa bouche. Voilà le portrait sans retouche de l'homme auquel j'appartiens.
parle tout bas, je vois la vie en rose. Il me dit des mots d'amour, des mots de tous les jours, et ça me fait quelque chose. Il est entré dans mon cœur une part de bonheur dont je connais la cause. C'est lui pour moi, moi pour lui dans la vie. Il me l'a dit, l'a juré pour la vie. Dès que je l'aperçois, alors je sens en moi la vie en rose. Oh, il me dit des mots d'amour, des mots de tous les jours, et ça me fait quelque chose. C'est lui pour moi, moi pour lui dans la vie. Il me l'a dit, l'a juré pour la vie. Et dès que je l'aperçois, alors je sens en moi mon cœur qui bat. La vie en rose. Merci beaucoup.
Leave, I'd just like to say, wow. I can only imagine what the earworm is that you're going to go home with tonight after that last piece. But just it's been a fabulous, marvelous kaleidoscope of musical color
on this beautiful piano of Michael Jones. Thank you so much to each one of you. Lance, thank you so much for taking the time. They've been working hard all summer on various projects, but to include ours is pretty special. We appreciate that a whole lot. And I know Michael is smiling, that charming, quiet smile that he has, and I know that Judy will be pleased, just thrilled, so thank you. And thank you to each one of you for coming out this evening. It's greatly appreciated, and it just shows the knowledge and the appreciation that everybody has for the artists in our community. Everybody lives close by, and aren't we lucky? There's so much we have right here. There are many people behind the scenes, of course, but I do want to say a very special thanks to Blair as well, Anna Proctor, and Ted Reeve for pulling this together pretty quickly. And the last week's been a mad flurry of things, but it's worked beautifully. The evening is not over. We have beverages and we have finger food, so please join either in the atrium or come down below. The Memorial Hall has been refurbished and is called the Commons area now, and it's quite lovely. Tables, artwork, some carpets on the floor, so please come down and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.